Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Dollar falls as US President Trump suggests delay of the presidential election analysis. http ntvforex.com News ID C4D78C 7/31/2022 10:19 a.m. Although the greenback rebounded in Asia and European morning on short covering, dollar fell against its G4 peers in New York after US President Donald Trump suggested the possibility of delaying the presidential election in November. Reuters reported US President Donald Trump on Thursday raised the possibility of delaying the nation's November presidential election despite its date being enshrined in the US Constitution. Trump, without evidence, repeated his claims of mail-in voter fraud and raised the question of a delay, writing delay the election until people can properly, securely, and safely vote. On the data front, Reuters reported gross domestic product collapsed at a 32.9% annualized rate last quarter, the deepest decline in output since the government started keeping records in 1947, the Commerce Department said on Thursday. The drop in GDP was more than triple the previous all-time decline of 10% in the second quarter of 1958. The economy contracted at a 5.0% pace in the first quarter. Economists polled by Reuters had forecast GDP plunging at a 34.1% rate in the April-June quarter. Versus the Japanese yen, although dollar rebounded from 104.91 in Australia to 105.29 in Asia on USD's broad-based recovery, price later retreated back to 104.91 on another round of selling in the greenback together with fall in U.S. Treasury yields and then lower to an intraday low at 104.69 near New York closing. Although the single currency retreated from 1.1794 in Australia to 1.1732 in Europe on downbeat German data and USD's recovery, price erased intraday losses and gained to 1.1809 in New York morning on renewed dollar's weakness before weakening to 1.1775 on profit-taking. The pair later rallied to a fresh 22-month peak at 1.1848 near New York closing. Reuters reported the Labor Office said the number of people out of work fell by 18,000 in seasonally adjusted terms to 2.923 million people. A Reuters poll had forecast an increase of 43,000, which would have pushed the unemployment rate to 6.5%. The adjusted unemployment rate remained at 6.4%. They also reported the German economy contracted by 10.1% in the second quarter, its steepest plunge on record, as household spending, business investment, and exports collapsed during the COVID-19 pandemic, preliminary data showed on Thursday. The British pound went through a volatile session. Although cable retreated in tandem with euro from 1.3005 Reuters in Australia to 1.2945 at European Open, renewed buying emerged and later rallied to a fresh 412-month high at 1.3102 in New York morning on cross-buying in sterling together with USD's weakness. Data to be released on Friday: Japan unemployment rate, industrial output, consumer confidence, construction orders, housing starts, China NBS non-manufacturing PMI, NBS manufacturing PMI, Australia PPI, France GDP, consumer spending, CPI EU norm, CPI, Germany retail sales, UK nationwide house price, Swiss retail sales, Italy GDP, CPI, CPI EU norm, retail sales, EU HICP, core HCIP GDP, US personal income, personal spending, core PCE, PCE price index, employment costs, Chicago PMI, University of Michigan sentiment, and Canada GDP, producer prices, budget balance. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors.